It's difficult to know when you should be evaluated by hearing loss. So we look at some statistics, and number one is that it's common. People over 60, their hearing loss begins, their hearing deteriorates, and over the age of 65, almost 70% of the population has some kind of some kind of objective hearing loss. And we want to put our efforts that are where there's common problems, and this is clearly one of the most common problem out there, so it's worth evaluating. The second reason you should be evaluated is that you have really no effective way of evaluating it on your own. Hearing tests are very sophisticated. There's some apps on phones you can use, and some people even come in and say, I noticed that the little sound bar on my TV I have to turn up. But for the most part, people can't really define what a decibel is or what a hearing loss is. So they can oftentimes not be able to check it on their own. The third reason is that there's a quality of life issue with it, and that it's much easier to function in today's society hearing better. The fourth reason is that we use a term that we like called listening effort. When you're hearing impaired, it's easy to become fatigued because you have to look at people when they speak, you have to lean in, you have to try to cue yourself into what they're saying, perhaps read lips a little bit. When you're missing certain sounds, you're doing an audiologic cryptogram, trying to fill in the words and the sounds that you're missing, and that can cause significant fatigue and listening effort and convenience. For instance, the old days when you can speak to someone across the room with the sync running and the television on, those days may have passed, and now you have to turn the TV down or turn the sync off or look at them and say, what did you say, and cue yourself into the topic. So we would hope that if you can recognize a hearing loss and treat it appropriately, there'd be a lot more conveniences and a lot more and less effort in functioning. And then the last reason is probably the most recently discovered, and that is that there is a degree of cognitive decline with untreated hearing loss. Now, this isn't mild hearing losses or typical hearing losses of aging, but when someone is significantly hearing impaired, there is a statistically significant increase in cognitive decline. We're not exactly sure what came first. But the studies suggest that if you're not hearing properly and you're withdrawing from the world, that there is a cognitive decline because you're not interacting, you're not learning, you're not participating in functions.